Alright, so do you want to buy a smartphone but you're worried about the cost? MTN in collaboration with Access Bank has introduced Pick and Pay Later. This is an offer for you to actually purchase a phone and then make an initial deposit and later pay the rest in installments. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the biggest for this is Degree Tech House. Now here's how it works. Eligibility is determined by credit scoring. Once approved, you have to pay for the initial deposit and go to the service center for your phone and then later pay the rest of the remaining amount in installments. Now you have to remember, I told you this is an MTN and Access Bank collaboration, right? And so you have to pay through MTN Mobile Money. I'm going to show you how to do it. But before that, let's look at the number of phones available currently, or the type of phones available if you want to do the MTN Pick and Pay Later. So currently available smartphones has to do with Samsung phones only. But even with the Samsung phones, we only have 3 brands, or let's say 3 series, right? So we have the Samsung A05, Samsung A25, and then Samsung A15. These are the phones you're going to get or choose from when you want to do the Pick and Pay Later. So remember I talked about the service centers. If you have actually done it and then you want to go and then pick up the phone, when you're doing it, you pay for the initial deposit, and after that you go with your Ghana card to these service centers I'm about to mention, and then you go for the phone, and later you're going to be deducted from your mobile money account to pay it in the space of 6 months, or let's say 4 months. So it varies whether 6 or 4 months. You're going to actually pay the remaining amount. Now Accra Mall, and then Osu Supreme, Junction Mall, and then Achimota Mall. These are the service centers you can actually go and then take your phone after you have done with the completion of the whole process and then paying your initial deposit. Remember, go with your Ghana card. You can actually go to West Hills Mall for it too. Now I know you're wondering or you're asking yourself, what will happen if I miss a payment? Okay, so if you miss a payment, your phone is going to be locked for 24 hours. If you don't do the payment, your phone is going to stay locked. So actually, when you buy some iPhones, they have this thing, they say the phone is locked, right? So these are the things that go on outside the country. You can actually buy phones and then pay in installments, right? But then the moment you default payment, your phone stay locked. So this is the same thing going to happen when you actually default payment. When you don't pay, or let's say when it's time for you to pay and then you actually do yourself from some way, the phone is going to be locked. And then you can actually pay the device early when you have your money ready. So let's assume you went for the device last month, and then after 1 month your money is fully ready. You can actually pay off your debt and then be free, right? And then one thing is, if you don't finish, or let's say complete the previous payment, you can actually go in for a different, right? So just like quick loan, if you don't pay for your previous loan, you can actually apply for a different loan. So this is how it works with the Pick and Pay Later too. And then one thing you need to know is there's an insurance cover, but the thing is, it only covers for thefts and damage. And then you can't actually just go there and then be like, oh, my phone is messing, I need a new phone. No, bro. You have to get a proper reason, a concrete reason to prove that your phone is actually messing or damaged before you can actually get a new phone. And then some of the boys are greedy, right? So can you actually upgrade to a higher price phone if you haven't paid for the previous one? No, you can't. So if you select a phone, you have to actually pay for the phone before you can move on to the different device or something like that. You get me? And so when you select it, after full payment, you can take a different device and pay for it. And then you need to remember that it is one device after the other. You can actually take 4 or 5 devices go, right? So it is a device per time. You take one, you pay. After that, you can actually go on and take another device. Okay, so now to apply, all you have to do is, dial *170#. And then when the portal opens, you go for financial service. Now, when you go to the financial services, you select loans, right? And so when you go to the loans, there's Pick and Pay Later, or device Pick and Pay Later. You select that, follow the process, and then you go through the devices available at that particular moment. Then you choose the device you want to choose and then follow the process to make your initial deposit. After that, you pick your Ghana card, you go to the service center closer to you, and then you go and show a proof that you have actually made a payment, and then you take your phone. In 4 or 6 months, you make your payment, you're good to go. Okay, so here's the best part. After, applying for the phone and then, doing the initial deposit, when you go for the phone, because you apply through your SIM card, you get 3 GB free internet data. This is like, something to back you up to actually make the payment. And then, it's a catch-up something, And so that is Pick and Pay Later for you. So ladies and gentlemen, what are you waiting for? If you want to buy a phone but not having the money out front, Pick and Pay Later is for you. My name is the biggest Ford. This is Degree Tech House. See you again.